In a quiet suburban neighborhood, where laughter often filled the air, there lived a family that seemed perfect, at least on the outside. But beneath that facade lay a darker story, one of manipulation, trust, and a stepdad who would use his wife for a money ritual that would change their lives forever. Meet Sarah, a loving mother of two, who had recently remarried. Her new husband, Tom, was charming and attentive, winning over not just Sarah but her children as well. Little did they know, Tom's charm hid a manipulative side that would soon surface. As Sarah settled into her new life, she reflected on the heartaches of her past. It had been a whirlwind romance filled with candlelit dinners and sweet nothings whispered in her ear. But as the initial excitement faded, the dynamics of their relationship began to shift. At first, everything seemed perfect. Tom genuinely cared for Sarah and her children. However, as time passed, he began to introduce her to the concept of money rituals, practices he claimed would bring prosperity and success into their lives. Tom explained that these rituals were common in his family, passed down through generations. He spoke of their power, how they could attract wealth and fortune. Intrigued yet skeptical, Sarah found herself drawn into this world. One evening, Tom suggested they perform a ritual to bless their home and finances. He insisted that they needed to buy specific items, a special candle, herbs, and offerings. Wanting to support her husband and believing in the potential benefits, Sarah agreed to spend their savings. As weeks turned into months, the rituals became more frequent and costly. Each time, Tom would present a new requirement for their financial success. With every purchase, Sarah felt a twinge of discomfort, but Tom's persuasive nature silenced her doubts. Tom's manipulation extended beyond money. He began isolating Sarah from her friends and family, claiming they didn't understand their unique path. "Trust me, Sarah," he would say, "this is all for our future." But as Sarah counted their dwindling savings, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. One fateful evening, everything changed. Sarah stumbled upon a text message on Tom's phone, a conversation with a friend discussing how he was using her for rituals and expressing doubts about their financial struggles. The shock hit her like a freight train. In that moment, everything clicked. The countless rituals, the money drained from their accounts, the isolation, Tom had been manipulating her all along. It was time to confront him. The following day, Sarah's heart raced as she prepared for the confrontation. She had spent the night tossing and turning, replaying the shocking revelation in her mind. Would Tom confess? Would he deny it? As she sat at the kitchen table, the silence felt suffocating. When Tom finally walked in, his usual charm was absent. Instead, he wore an expression of confusion, perhaps sensing the storm brewing within Sarah. She took a deep breath and spoke up, her voice trembling but determined. "Tom, we need to talk. I found your messages. I know what you've been doing." Tom's demeanor shifted from confusion to defensiveness in an instant. "What are you talking about, Sarah? You're misunderstanding everything." But Sarah stood her ground, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside her. "You've manipulated me into spending our savings on these rituals. You've isolated me from my friends and family. This isn't about prosperity, it's about control." Tom's face hardened. He was cornered but unwilling to admit defeat. "You think you know everything. These rituals are for our benefit. You just don't understand their power yet." In that moment, Sarah felt a surge of anger mixed with deep sadness. The men she thought she knew had become a stranger. "No, Tom. I trusted you. This is not how a partnership works. I won't be a pawn in your game anymore." The air was thick with unspoken words, and Sarah had taken a stand, but she could feel the weight of uncertainty pressing down on her. After that confrontation, everything changed. The home that once felt warm and inviting now felt cold and empty. Sarah's heart was heavy with the reality of her situation. Seeking solace, Sarah turned to her childhood friend, Lisa. Over coffee, she poured out her heart, detailing the rituals, the manipulation, and the confrontation. "Sarah, you deserve to be happy and respected. You need to think about what you want moving forward," Lisa encouraged. Lisa's words resonated deeply with Sarah. For the first time in a long time, she began to envision a future free from Tom's influence. But the road ahead was fraught with uncertainty. Could she truly break free from this toxic relationship? Meanwhile, the children sensed the tension. They were used to a lively home filled with laughter, but now, it felt like a shadow loomed over them. "Why is Mom always sad?" one child asked. "I don't know. I miss when we had fun," the other replied. Overhearing their innocent conversation broke Sarah's heart. She realized that her struggle was not just her own, it affected her children, too. Finding strength, determined to reclaim her life, Sarah began researching options. She explored support groups for women in similar situations, finding empowerment in shared stories. In those meetings, she met women who had faced similar manipulations, women who had found their strength and rebuilt their lives. Their stories inspired her to take her first steps toward independence. Weeks passed, and Sarah felt a transformation within herself. She began to set boundaries with Tom, asserting her needs and those of her children. One evening, she sat down with Tom once more, this time with a clear plan. "I've decided to take control of our finances, Tom. We need to approach this as a team, not as adversaries." While Tom initially resisted, Sarah stood firm. Her newfound strength shone through. She knew that this was her life, and she would not let him dictate it any longer. As time went on, the atmosphere in their home began to shift. Sarah found joy in small moments with her children, laughter returning as they created new memories together. Though the journey was far from easy, Sarah had taken the first steps toward a brighter future. She had learned to trust her instincts and stand up for herself. In the end, Sarah's story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of self-awareness and the strength that lies within us all. Sometimes, the love we give can blind us to manipulation, but recognizing our worth is the first step toward reclaiming our lives. If you find yourself in a situation where trust is broken, know that you have the power to change your story. Seek support, reclaim your voice, and remember that you are deserving of love and respect.